Good morning, Slop Nation. Welcome to Slop Chop. This is a new comedy podcast hosted by myself, Harvey Mulvihill. It is about the happenings of the internet, and it is your one-stop shop for slop. I'm joined today by a wonderful guest, Landon. Thank you for coming. If you do not care about one of these beloved topics, slopics that we're discussing, skip it. There's always time codes in the description. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
I think we're going to just jump right into, did you hear about this? The late show at CBS
R.I.P.
is being canceled. Obviously late night television has been a dying thing for decades now, but it's such like a fucking institution, and it's crazy to me that it's already, or like this is the first sign of the times of like it's.
Well, like my question is like, what is the front page of YouTube going to be? Because like that's like it's literally been dominated by Jimmy Fallon. It's like Jimmy Kimmel shit. Like especially like when you don't have an account. That's how I know someone's not on their YouTube account. I'm like, 100%. Jimmy Kimmel recommendation. All right, we're going incognito today.
Yes, or what's the HBO one with fucking
John Oliver.
John Oliver.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Yeah, but you know, I guess it is. I mean, I watched Colbert when he was. Not when he was on The Daily Show, I guess after his spinoff. Mm-hmm. So that was like the first time, and really like some of the first time I got into like satirical comedy. I mean, we were in high school, I guess, when that was going on.
Dude, that character's, that whole show is like an incredible feat and comedic feat.
He's perfect.
Yeah.
He is pitch perfect the whole time.
Much less good in this.
And it's hard because like you have to be, maybe that's why like late night is what it is. Like you have to kind of pander. Like you can't be, you know, I mean, think of the boardroom that you have to get approval by, you know, like and especially just like it's something where like they just get, you know, there's so many snafus that have happened. Like I think about what's your face, like Ashley Simpson going on and just like, I mean, there's been some debacles for on late night, and I guess it's just, you know, there's too much money on it, so they just can't take risks. I mean, like watching Colbert, like, you know, interview someone is just not, it's so different than like Jon Stewart. All right. Now I haven't looked at Stewart's new stuff, but like back in the day, Jon Stewart was pissed most of the time.
I'm sure he probably is bringing that same energy to the new stuff. I have not heard a peep about his new show online.
No.
It's odd. Like there was this big hullabaloo about him coming back finally, and he is like a comedic, you know, titan, and it's odd that he hasn't really made many waves into this new program. I don't even know if it's on. It's like Comedy Central or something. I have no idea. Is it online?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen like a couple, you know, the clip here or there, but it's like, because he kind of took like a hiatus, didn't he?
Yeah.
From like doing anything.
Yes. He retired.
Just when the world needed him most.
Yeah. Did you know that he pops up? He does he does stand up, and he pops up at the Comedy Cellar regularly.
Okay.
He's just like a Comedy Cellar.
So was he a stand-up guy before?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
which I didn't know. Most of those guys were. Leno was too. I don't think Colbert was, but. What was I gonna say? But yeah, R.I.P. to the fucking Late Show. It's crazy. I mean, the Letterman show is being canceled. It's nuts. And I looked into it a little bit before this. I did some research.
Oh, why the change?
It's a well-researched production that you're listening to. So it's losing tens of millions of dollars a year for the network, and it's basically, I think it's just. Colbert's contract is ending next year in May, and they were going to either renew it or find someone else. It's been 11 years with the Colbert Late Show. He took over from Letterman, of course, and I guess they just don't want to do it anymore. It's nuts. I mean, this is, by the way, Kimmel's contract is also ending next year, and there's now heavy speculation that they're gonna just ex-nay that show. Or he'll just retire,
just like leaving Fallon only,
which, by the way, I think or I looked at, I thought, I could have sworn that Fallon had the highest ratings of the three, but apparently he doesn't. It's been Late Show with fucking Colbert. That's like the highest rated of the three, and it's the one that called it quits first.
Do you think like podcasts have just kind of, and like the the online equivalent of just kind of,
that's why Conan's the GOAT, dude. That's why Conan saw the writing on the walls 5 years ago and said, screw this, I'm going to start a podcast.
Yeah.
And it's very popular. It's doing very well, and it's great.
It's the smartest thing you can do. Like when you have A-list connections, like people want to hear that stuff. It's funny to me how many celebrities cash in on that. Like there's like Steve Buscemi has a show, and like, you know,
Amy Poehler now.
Yeah, I mean, you just like it's funny to me. It's much more palatable than like the YouTube thing. Like the Will Smith YouTube stuff will just never. I mean, granted, Will Smith's been, let's say, he's fallen out of love for a lot of people. Being maybe one of the most well-loved celebrities ever, he's made some very questionable choices.
I think that he is so far up his own ass that it's insane, and he's married to one of the queens of that, and their couple, or like whatever, the Slop, of course, but he's a fucking, I don't like him anymore.
It's hard to like him.
He's annoying.
He makes it hard.
Yeah.
And especially on YouTube, where like, that's like not a pure platform, obviously. Like, obviously there's like millions and billions of dollars in it, but there's something gross about an A-list celebrity coming in versus like, I don't like Mr. Beast, but like, hey, he was just some guy that made his empire.
100%.
He didn't use, it's I don't know, it's weird. Like you'd think like, oh, Will Smith has a YouTube channel. It's so sick. Like, and then it's like, ugh.
It's gross. Yeah, I do not get the desire for an A-list celebrity to also have the YouTube audience. Like, don't you have enough? Aren't Hollywood movies enough?
It's
it's never enough.
Like, is it money? Is it just you just
no,
want a platform?
It's clout. People want clout. People
How much more clout can Will Smith get?
See,
he's what has he not done?
In between films, he doesn't have eyeballs on him all the time.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, does he even do movies anymore?
Oh God, I don't know.
What was his last movie?
He did he won the Oscar famously for whatever that bullshit was, the tennis movie. But,
oh yeah,
that was 3 years ago. The Slap.
Is that really that?
I don't know what he's been in since then, but
I just totally missed that because the last Will Smith movie I think of is 7 Pounds, and that is not a movie that you want to think about at all.
Misery porn.
That was just
yes.
I watched on my iPod Nano or Touch, my iTouch. That was the perfect way to watch that film.
Let's go. The only scene I remember is okay, who's the blind guy?
Isn't it
it's True Detective Man.
Woody Harrelson?
Yeah, it's Woody Harrelson. So funny. Just him being berated on the phone, verbally berated by Will Smith.
It was just like someone watched Pursuit of Happiness and was like, you know what? Let's take out all the hope. And then
let's make this more manipulative.
Then we'll have this weird like
the thing was like he oh God, just flashes of that movie now. So, isn't it like his body parts get donated or what's the thing?
Yeah, so that's the thing. If I recall, he decides to kill himself at the beginning of the movie, and he's going to find 7 worthy candidates for his bodily donation, which I don't think you get to choose, as far as I'm concerned. But let's say he's a match with all these people for these various body parts. And then you think the movie's going to go and he's going to be like, oh, he's going to find his reason to live again. Nope. Puts like a jellyfish in the tub.
Oh, yeah.
And like a man of war and kills himself.
Holy shit, I forgot about that. And puts himself
on ice. And then there's like, dear, EMTs, to this man, my heart. To this man, my eyes. And then it just ends. Like, I think maybe it ends with Woody Harrelson, but man.
What a beautiful, cheery movie.
What a just.
That is the classic definition of a white bummer. Like, it's exclusively made for whites and people who just want to feel sad for a little bit. It's Oscar bait, but it's not good enough to reach that level. So it's like trash. I don't know what that man is up to. He's just being cringe online. There's an awesome clip that I will put.
What does making a mistake in front of the world, how do you handle that?
I call it it's brutal. It's brutal. It's brutal, but beautiful. Right? And it is like the addiction to the approval of others that I had to dissolve was brutal. It was brutal.
I think we need that word. It makes a lot of sense.
But it's like, finding that way to be able to be with my own humanity
and to be able to not be perfect, but be human and find a higher power in my humanity than I found in my constellation of ideas of perfection that we called Will Smith, and the
fullness of who I am to allow that to be better than Will Smith.
That like faint sort of bullshitty actor speak that they all have. And, like I have, desires and whatever to be acting, maybe not an actor, but acting. And you just got to surround yourself with these fucking people who just take themselves so seriously. It's crazy. I mean, you're pretending to be a person. It's not
I always think of Dave Chappelle just like leaving.
Yes, go to
like in his Inside the Actor Studio is now like more relevant than ever because he like never really says why he leaves, but you can just tell there was just something. He was like something just felt icky.
Yeah,
and I think maybe there were some things that have come in the media in the last few years that it kind of explained why Mr. Chappelle was like, I don't want to live in Hollywood and be around these people because didn't he like live on like a farm somewhere in like Montana?
Africa?
No, like
before that.
Yeah, well, like that's when he left. But like, doesn't he live in like Montana?
Oh yeah,
is he like Kanye's neighbor?
I don't know about the Kanye thing, but he has a whole compound in Kentucky. I think I don't remember exactly, but he built a comedy club out there, like Rogan did in Austin. And he's got this like he's a so apparently it's just like a small town, and he's Dave Chappelle. He's one of the most famous people on the planet, and he'll just walk around the grocery stores, say hi to his neighbors and shit. But what he does now is he flies comedians from all over the country out, and they'll do like a quick residency at this club or like at a Chappelle compound.
That's sick.
It seems insane. Yeah.
2 things I want to know: how did Dave Chappelle get so bulky? What is that guy? What is that guy?
He's got to be juicing, dude.
He was so skinny, and now he comes back for. I remember his first special. I was like, oh my god. Yeah. Second, guy can shred on a skateboard.
What?
A lot of people don't know that.
What?
Jason Lee was a pro skater, and Dave Chappelle is no slouch on the board.
No shit.
Look that shit up. That's some good old YouTube.
Dude,
right
I had no idea.
Yeah. No.
That's interesting.
I'll put my love of skating that a sport I could never do, to the side, but I always think it's sick when celebrities have like a Lil Wayne too.
Yeah, I knew Lil Wayne.
Another beloved.
But Lil Wayne adopted the culture.
Sure.
He didn't grow up with it.
No, hey, we all, you play Tony Hawk, you want to do it. I mean, it's natural. It's natural human instinct. And then you fall and you realize, oh, this kind of sucks ass.
Did you ever skate?
Oh, see, I made the mistake of trying to learn and did learn, like, I think when I was 15, 16, but you fall a lot harder when you're, 5 foot whatever.
Not
than
8.
You're, yeah. So parents, put your kid on a board as soon as they can walk. They don't need their wrists. CTE is not real, so
quit being a pussy.
Maybe we cut that, but
that's what I was always told when I was young. Because when you're young, you just fall and you break shit all the time. I don't know if kids are doing that these days. Kids are on the iPads these days, maybe. But
maybe kids need to be out there breaking their bones.
That's what I'm saying.
They say it makes your bones stronger,
for sure. But my mom would always say, like, if you fall, don't, like, your impulse is going to be to catch yourself. Like, try to avoid that impulse because you're going to shatter your fucking wrist. That's like the number one most broken bone or something as an 11-year-old.
Well, then you see like Tony Hawk and those guys, and they're like mostly metal, and you can't turn his head. So it's like, but those guys are doing the crazy X Games stuff. So like that's a little bit different than your.
Tony Hawk, by the way, this is just the total inverse of a Will Smith. He just seems like such a genuine fucking guy.
His documentary, they're like so good. His Rogan, probably the only Rogan I've even listened to. I mean, he's the man. He's the man. Like he's a true celebrity where it's like, okay, this guy has made it, and it's different, I guess, as an athlete and like a niche athlete.
Yeah.
But I mean, he seems like a generally good guy. Big family. I had no idea. There's like a bunch of Hawks out there.
No shit.
So it's cool. The documentary talks a lot about his family and like growing up in California and the vert scene. And I don't know. It was cool. I mean, for nothing else, like if you like what is that Jonah Hill movie? 90s?
Yeah, mid-90s. I haven't seen it.
It's like right out of that time.
Gotcha.
Probably earlier, but like, same vibes. So if you want to know what it was like to be skinny kid in the 80s shredding on a weird looking skateboard,
hell yeah, brother,
check it out.
That shit rips. I always wanted to skateboard. I for a day and a half.
It's never too late. Never too late. 30 30 they say you got to learn a new skill.
Is that true?
I don't know.
I'm learning how to be a podcaster.
Oh, well, you can do both.
I'm just gonna skateboard while podcasting. I've got the mobile setup that could work.
Definitely a safe thing to learn how to do. That, or maybe pick up mountain biking.
Dude, yeah, another thing that I did for a date, like three fucking days. It was a good time, and then I actually had it. We did it for a while, my family and I, and then I took a break and went to college and came back, and I think I weighed like 70 pounds more than I did when I started. And I remember like, oh, I had a good time with this, and I hopped on a fucking mountain bike, and just my ass hurt so bad. It was just like horrific pain. I was like, what? How did I ever enjoy this? I was like, oh, that's right. I'm way fatter than I was.
Well, I can't say college really made me a better athlete. So, I don't think anyone leaves college. It's like, you know what? I'm fitter than I was when I got in here.
That's a really good point. Even if you are an athlete.
Yeah, no. I mean,
that's funny.
I'll tell you something real quick.
Please.
We got this, but it's just funny. Like when me and my buddy were moving here, and we were like touring apartments, we were like going on the golf cart with the apartment girl, and my buddy's like 6'5", and I'm 5'10", and we were talking about we were gonna miss football season, and she goes, oh, like, did you guys play at OU? And I was like man, what position do you think let alone him, he's at least tall.
Sure.
But like, have you seen a D1 football player?
Yeah. You can notice them on site.
Like they're not just 6'5".
Yeah.
They're. I was like, is this girl trying to get me? I mean, she's really working to sell this apartment to
dude.
me. I'll never forget it.
That's so funny.
I was like, if maybe I got the water for the team. Even then, those guys are much more shredded than I am. So,
like a tennis ball boy, even those guys are like, just like, they're so fast.
They're students of the game.
Yes.
I don't think putting Fireball in your boots and watching a football game counts as being a D1 athlete.
Shouts out to Fireball, dude. First
Shouts
thing I ever blacked
Fireball.
out on. Oh my god, I'll never forget that.
Brutal. That's brutal,
dude. I'll never like the moment I was just in college, exactly the same thing. So probably sophomore year, and I was just at a toga party for another fraternity, and we were just chugging this handle of Fireball because it's tasty. It tastes like cinnamon, and then I was like, woohoo! Chug, and then woke up in bed. It was crazy. First time that's ever happened to me.
What they don't tell you about Fireball is that you smell like cinnamon.
Yes.
Every part of your body for the next at least 2 days.
And you get to vomit it out also.
And man, does it tickle.
Yeah, dude. I bet it's probably a good thing to drink in the car, because if you get pulled over, it doesn't smell too bad like alcohol.
Officer, I'm chewing Big Red.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite gum.
I'm eating hot tamales over here.
Everyone loves hot tamales. That's why I reek of cinnamon.
I fucking can't stand that candy.
It is the drink most beloved of moms who started drinking past the age of 55. Because it just goes so good with everything.
For sure. It's so easy to drink. Yeah. Oh well, those days are behind me. Let's move on, shall we? All right. Shouts out to Stephen Colbert. I guess God love you. I wonder if he's gonna. We'll end on this, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if he started another Colbert Report situation.
I wanted to do another book.
Ooh.
He did some book called like I'm America and So Are You.
Yeah.
Like there are no comedy books anymore.
All right. Briefly, I just wanted to touch on Shane Gillis hosting the espys. Did you watch the monologue?
I did.
So here's the thing about the espys. They don't fucking matter.
Yeah,
and
what
no
are
one cares.
they?
No one cares about them.
Can you tell me what they are?
Yeah, here's what they are. They are some award show that Norm Macdonald hosted once, and that's why Shane Gillis wanted to do it.
Like how long ago?
When he was young, dude. He was like peak SNL days for Norm. Like, dude.
So we're talking early 90s?
Yes, it was when OJ was in the news.
Whoa, okay.
Because Shane Gillis closed his monologue with the same OJ joke that Norm made, which is amazing. Performed less good than Norm, but it was fun.
By then, he just had to close out.
Yeah. But it was cool. It's cool to see him up there. He's a big sports guy. I'm not a sports guy at all, but I don't understand the impulsion to give athletes awards like this. From what I understand, they really truly are not on the level of any other award, like a Emmy, Tony, any of those
ESPN show. Like I know they own some. Because, again, it's very much like, but hey, that's how it all is, right? The Academy gives awards to actors. I don't know who does the Grammys, but I'm sure Universal and, Okay,
well, here's something maybe. I guess the only award that a team could get is like a championship trophy in whatever sport they're in. So then what about everyone else that's a part of the team? I get, I
can see it being cool to reflect on the year in sports.
Sure.
Especially like, because I mentioned Simone Biles, and I was like, it's always cool to get those kind of athletes, and like,
100%.
and you forget. I mean, I don't remember when Simone won gold last. It was, a few years ago at this point.
15
but like,
golds every 4 years.
I mean, especially athletes like that they don't get a platform. Every 4 years, do or die.
Mm-hmm.
And she had like a rough time that one time and came back at her 30s or something. Gymnastics, another thing to start in your 30s.
There you go.
But I want to know. Okay, so you're much bigger comedy guy than me, and we saw Shane in Dallas together.
Yes, that was awesome.
So what, like, was Shane? Were you a Matt and Shane podcast guy?
No, I was. I just saw Shane over the years just guest on a million pods, and he's so unassuming and sort of like low key that I very few people. He's always been hilarious, but I had no idea he was going to be the superstar that he is. It's really cool to see, but I'm not a huge Matt and Shane person. I listen every once in a while, but it's not one of my regular pods. Sure. I love though that he did he basically shouted out Matt's wife as the best joke of the set, making fun of a WNBA player. Or anyway, you've seen it. I don't need to recreate the thing.
Well, I want to know though, you go on YouTube, every comment is Shane killed it. I don't know why everybody wasn't laughing.
Yes.
But I do sympathize with people in the audience because, one, when you're on camera, you're always going to be weird. I can say that right now.
You're being fine.
But I don't have a $30 million deal with a company who will drop me for a tweet. So I get the audience, but I don't get, knowing that audience, why you pick Shane Gillis. Is it like he's popular and someone just said, "Oh, we gotta get who's hot right now? Oh, Mr. Gillis," I think is the cigar smoking exec just or is it like, we got to show we're hip, like, because like, do you think it's that?
Yes, for sure. I think Shane's a massive sports fan, and he's very, very popular right now. So I think it's a match made in heaven. I don't think, also, since the Norm thing, I don't think they've done many comedians. They do like Normie, whatever, your Ryan Seacrest or just another sports guy.
Pull up the list.
Yeah,
I love it. Pull up the list of past SB hosts, because other than other athletes,
Serena Williams, Steph Curry, Anthony Mackie. They got Captain America or whatever. Tracy Morgan. Okay, that's got to be interesting. Drake. Good Lord.
When was that?
Joel McHale.
2014. Epic pull.
Yeah, dude. Okay,
John Hamm.
They've had. It's mostly like late night guys. Rob Riggle. That's so
Justin
strange.
Timberlake.
LeBron James and Jimmy Kimmel.
It's always impressive when these guys are like also great athletes.
There's the Norm. 98.
You think Norm Macdonald could ball? Did Norm Macdonald know ball?
I don't know. He definitely knew ball. He loves sports. I don't know.
Is that code for he's a sports gambler?
100%. But also he just loves sports.
This is sponsored by DraftKings, right?
Yes.
We fully endorse.
So it's been a sprinkling of comedians ever since. I think it just kind of makes sense. I really do think this is the first time I've ever watched the fucking espys. I didn't even watch them, but I had interest in it. I'm curious about the ratings, or if they did well.
So what do you think of his opening?
I thought it was great. I think that he, similar to like his SNL monologues, it's such a massive audience and such a strange, crazy cultural thing, especially being in front of hundreds of athletes like that. It's easy to get in your head, but I thought he did well. I do agree that the crowd was not there to laugh at a comedy situation. But I thought that man never doesn't kill it, in my opinion.
No, I mean, I thought he was funny too, but it's also like, I much more noticed his tics, like, oh, hey,
yep.
Oh, come on,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Which, I don't know if that his bit or like it's his like kind of safety thing.
He talked about it on the pod, actually. I saw a clip. He was like, people want you to go out there and act like, hey, aha, like presenter man. And he's like, I'm never going to do that. Sure. I'm going to act. This is weird that I'm here. I'm going to act weird because it is weird that I'm doing this.
There's a similar thread with getting Timothée Chalamet on, like he was on Game Day and,
so there's
been, But like,
I already love that man.
Oh,
and then,
I
dude,
know.
when I saw that shit, are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, he's really trying to make himself as attractive to every single demographic there is.
But also he had the knowledge to back it up.
He was certainly well prepared. I don't know if that guy has ever seen a game before.
That's crazy. He's a fan for sure.
I mean, hey, look,
he's at every Knicks game, dude.
All I'm saying, man, guy's an actor. He's on. He's
do not besmirch
he's
my
Paul
twink
Atreides,
king.
dude. He's a great Paul. But you telling me this guy's on Criterion and he's in that thing where you pick your CDs and he knows ball. Like, surely, at some point,
he's the least in all guy, bro.
That's true. Maybe Timothy, give me a call. Tell me I'm wrong. But I want to believe. Yeah. I want to believe that he's all those things.
I don't. It doesn't strike me as, maybe it's just because he's hot, but it does not strike me as fake at all compared to like the Will Smith thing, which is like, hey, look at me,
Oscar caliber actor.
And they both are. Actually, Will Smith is the only one who has the award of the two.
True.
Chalamet is fucking coming up short on that front.
He'll get there. He's got to eat a fish or something raw. I think that's the baseline.
Yeah.
But one thing about Shane I think is so funny, and I'm never not fascinated by this, is he's coming up and like he's any guy who watched Barstool religiously or like the TFM guys, it was like they made Shane in a lab for them. And then, but Shane's much more clever and has a lot more depth than his jokes belie, I think.
He's super smart.
But then, he makes jokes about Trump and then those same guys like turn on him. So people like don't know what to do with him, because we saw him in Dallas, which is probably a good place to see him because there probably is that two-sided audience, but it's very funny that like no one can really, no side can claim him really yet. Like, people want to claim him for like, right, oh yeah, he's, he owns the libs, but then, in the same breath, he'll, he takes a very South Park approach, which I can really appreciate. A guy that just wants to take the
centrist.
Just take the piss out of everybody.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what a good comedian is supposed to do. Right?
100%. I think if you align yourself with any sort of movement or agenda, it's cringe inherently. And like, there's very few political comedians that I keep in touch with, or your Jon Stewart's, or I guess of the only sort of anything close. But he's so right in the middle of it, and he just sees the hypocrisy and insanity on both sides, which is the kind of human you want to be, right? That's the kind of person you want to exist as. You want to be a guy who's in the middle. Do you have any friends that are super left or super right? I certainly don't.
Is this deleted Twitter? I don't know. I don't know about that.
Twitter is still my number one fucking slop factory, brother. I love it.
Well, I can say that I want to know what Mr. Gillis thinks about Eddington. So
for real,
because
which we'll get to. I gotta read
spoilers.
Hold on. All right, should we get into clips? Or do you want to say anything about Shane? Anything more about Shane?
Got nothing else on Mr. Gillis.
I love that man. I love him dearly. I wish him nothing but the best. I think he is actually... Oh, okay, here's an interesting thing. I mean, did I say this? I don't know if I said this on the pod, but I will say it to you because you're here.
Okay. There's
something interesting. There's a So I think most like S tier comedians, your Dave Chappelle's, your John Mulaney's, your Louis C.K.'s, those guys don't do podcasts. You know what I mean? You don't see them on the podcast circuit at all. And I think based on 2 specials and whatever, a couple of monologues, I put Shane Gillis in that camp of legit god tier comedians.
Like you're selling out amphitheaters.
Exactly. Yeah, but you can do that and still be mid. In my like, I love Tom Segura, but he's not on that level. Or Bert Kreischer. Like, there's a million people. Sebastian Maniscalco. But I think I've said all this on the pod, so I'm going to cut this entire thing if I have. Have I?
I don't think so.
Okay,
almost the last 2 episodes.
Okay, sorry. I'm
a fan of the pod, by the way.
Thank you. Thanks for listening.
Shane Gillis, big amphitheaters, S tier.
Yeah, so there's but he's like the exception to the rule. Him and Bill Burr are the only 2 that I can think of that I would put on that level, like Mount Rushmore-ass comedians who are on podcasts all the time. Like Bill Burr is the only one who has... Bill Burr and Shane are the only 2 that are like... They have both skills because they're totally different skill sets. Being stand-up and podcasting are like totally different worlds. And if you are it's just maniacally focused on your craft as a stand-up, like a Dave Chappelle or whatever, you don't really have time, I guess, or you don't want to. Also, it's different for, maybe it's also different. It's like a fame thing. I think everything that those guys say becomes a news story, which is different.
Yeah,
so
you really got to get into the weeds to, like you're listening to a 3-hour podcast once or twice a week. I mean, that's a crazy thing too. It's not like one episode a month.
Yeah.
There's like 600 episodes of Matt and Shane or something like that.
And he got the SNL job and got canceled from it, basically from the success of that podcast. And like now he's just a global superstar. But anyways, it's always been interesting to me when there's very few comedians who can do both things well. And Shane Gillis is one of those people. I think he's just straight up like a genius or close to it. I also I hesitate to use that word because it sounds kind of glazy or whatever, but he's also I will suck this man's dick verbally as much as I want. Thank you very much. I love him. How dare you?
Look, I apologize.
How dare you?
For the Shane skeptics out there. Shout out Shane skeptics.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, look, I mean, I completely agree. Like your stand up is like, it takes what, like 40 hours to do 10 minutes of stand up or something. Like it's the time to, a final joke is so intensive, and like having known people like, even doing like even your basic stand-up class, like people really trying to pursue it. I mean, that's not some joke.
Yeah.
At the same time, like to be naturally like kind of effortlessly funny all the time.
Yes.
It'd be, it's weird that you can do both.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly,
it's incredible.
You've got to be so sharp to do both, because it's not, I mean, there's so many podcasts. I mean, think of, how do you have a good podcast? Like there's a million podcasts. How do you stand out when you're a comedian?
Yeah.
Like,
that's I guess like I didn't really conclude that point well, which is that everyone below that S tier level, 100% of those comedians have podcasts. 100% of the A, B, C, everyone down the list, all of them, without exception, have podcasts. It's only the best of the best of the best that really don't fuck with it. It's also kind of like maybe established people that didn't have to come up the way that everyone else is or has, like you blow up online, you blow up through TikTok. That's kind of how that's how the game is played now. Sure. Those guys have been around so long that they just kind of, they're cemented. So maybe they don't have to. That's part of it.
Well, I feel like the S tier too, like you're getting other opportunities. Like John Mulaney was on Big Mouth for it's 20 seasons on Netflix.
Just ended.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole nother episode.
Fucking Big Mouth.
But like, I mean, he does, I mean, a lot of voice work, and, I mean, those guys get acting roles, Bill Burr's on acting and stuff. But like, I mean, Tim Dillon and those guys, like I know who they are, but I've never been like, oh, new Tim Dillon Netflix movie.
100%.
That's not going to happen.
Good point.
So I don't know.
Fair enough. Good point. Let's move on. If I'm not mistaken here, we both listened to this new Clipse album. Is that true?
That is true. And I listened to Fantano review as well.
Nice.
And read every single comment on every platform there was. So I've distilled it down.
Let's go. All right. So I want to talk mostly I'm interested in Anthony Fantano. And I think that we'll talk about the album, which I enjoyed. But I think the reason that I was attracted to it in the first place is because I saw on Twitter that Fantano gave it a 10. Mm-hmm. And there's very few kind of cultural people that can get me to alter what I was doing that day based on something they do.
Very valid.
Red Letter Media drops a video, I'm stopping what I'm doing. I'm pretty much watching that fucking video. Anthony Fantano gives out a 10. I'm like, bruh, I'm checking it out.
And like his 10s too, like I was, going back, because I hadn't really watched him for many years, but his 10s, that guy listens to music differently than I do.
Yes.
Like, I remember he gave this album by Swans a 10. Have you ever listened to that?
Yes, I tried. It's tough.
Impenetrable. Yes. Look, and hey, I'm sure there's some depth that I'll never appreciate, and that's fine. But, like, the fact that he can do it all sonically, I'm like, okay, this guy knows ball and has been the YouTube face of music for, like, 15 years or something.
Absolutely. And I think he is the most popular music reviewer, period, that exists. I can't think of another one that is on anywhere close to that level. Maybe Pitchfork is like the closest seconds. Where
they're just got to be so pissed. Every Rolling Stone in them, they have to be so mad all the time.
Yes.
Like everyone just dumpsters their reviews no matter what they are.
Yeah.
Like they're the IGN of music. And
100%.
It's and then you got this buff bald guy just talking circles around your review. It's like he listens to the album 50 times before like he knew the lore on this one.
Which, by the way, the lore is pretty interesting. So Clipse, if you're unfamiliar, is a collective of two brothers, Pusha T and Malice, who used to be No Malice. Malice and Pusha T had a very successful so here's the interesting thing about them. They've always been well respected, but they've never been super commercially successful. And so they were both rappers separately back in the day when they were coming up. And then Pharrell Williams caught word of these two fellas and basically scooped them up and convinced them to join forces and start like a collective, the three of them, Pharrell, Malice, and Pusha T. It's called Clipse. And so they released two albums that I love from back in the days, like 2015, 2016. Hell Hath No Fury is a fucking banger, dude. I love that album so much. There's another one that I didn't, the first album that they did Fantano seemed to love, but I have not listened to that. But it's the lore is interesting because Pusha T, I think pretty much everyone knows. He's like very well known, well versed. He did the whole Drake beef, the first very public beef with Drake. He's been on the Good Music Kanye label for forever. But his brother, Malice, quit rapping in like 2018, 2019 to become a priest. And so this is his return to hip hop.
Is that like a thing for rappers whose name starts with M? Because didn't Mace do that too?
Oh, dude.
Is that like a common thread?
That's fascinating. Okay, I might honestly be getting them confused.
Okay, no, but he did have that like Christian rap album.
Yeah.
At least according to Melon.
Okay, I might be getting those two people confused.
Reviews to join the cloth.
yes. Dude.
That's the conclusion, Anthony Fantano. He joins the priesthood.
He grows his hair back out. He's got just luscious locks.
He's already got full monk head.
Yeah,
you don't walk away from monk head.
That's good stuff. Yeah, I could totally see that happening. But what'd you think of the album?
I really liked it. I think it's not. I mean, one, like I still listen to rap, but like it's been a long time since I've like dove into an album that wasn't a Tyler album in a long time. It reminded me in a very good way of when Good Music was doing Good Fridays and they just put out these really cool and like, dark tracks. You had like Christian Dior, Denim Flow. You had Mercy came out through that. There's so many cool.
The dollar you murder for.
There's
is
just
that the one fighting for you.
There's just so many cool tracks and just like such a cool, I don't know, like unique production that like nobody does. And then, I will admit, and I'm embarrassed to admit this. Maybe I shouldn't be, but I had no idea of what Clipse was, and how it's listed on Spotify is it goes Clipse, guest feature, Pusha T. Malice. And so I thought like it would be like, when the Alchemist collabs with somebody, it's like, their group and then the Alchemist. So I thought Malice was producing because I could not tell when Pusha T was rapping and when Malice was rapping.
They sound so similar.
With the exception of Pusha T's a little more like a huskier voice.
Yes.
And which honestly is kind of cool because you have this like, it sounds like one person and their brothers talking about their lives. So it's very cool, like knowing that backstory. So I didn't go back again.
Here's the cheat code: Pusha T's always first.
Pusha T's always first.
Always, for some reason, throughout all of their entire discography, for some reason, he is always first. It's Pusha T, then Malice.
Is he the big brother?
I don't know, but he's the more popular of the two. So I guess that's probably the reason.
He's certainly. Is he the scariest rapper when it comes to like your like impacting your career as a rapper?
Dude, yes, I would certainly think so. Like or Kendrick, I guess, but you don't. One of the people that you just do not fuck with.
I think you got to get Kendrick's attention.
Yeah,
you know, like Pusha T's like, you know, he's gonna say something about. Like, I saw the best comment I saw was someone was like, you know, Fantano's word. Pusha T's gonna expose his daughter, you know, or something like that. Like he's got a love child.
That's awesome.
But like, I mean, he has. You know, it's a different kind of beef with Pusha T.
He's Fantano put it so well on this album. Like they sound like devilish, evil on this thing.
He's lawful evil.
Yes, yeah,
it's a lawful evil album.
Beautifully said. I think so. I'm a little. What's weird is I've listened to it a bunch, and I'm enjoying it. I still do enjoy it, and I can't point at any one thing and say that's why it's not a 10 out of 10 for me. And like I think every track is great. I just don't. It's not fully kind of cementing in my brain the way that the good music stuff back in the day used to. And I don't know if I've just grown out of that or if it's sort of. But then, like, this is cut to me yesterday. I was at the gym and I was like, let's go back, roll back in the catalog and listen to the old Pusha T stuff that I love so much. Nostalgia with Kendrick Lamar. What's the Tyler song? Trouble on My Mind. That song is a fucking heater. And then all the good music stuff, and then even the old Clipse stuff, the two Hell Hath No Fury. They just kind of, I think they're at a different place in their career, and it's a different sort of, you know, we have 15 years of difference between then and now, so 15 years of growing up, but it's less boom bappy. It's less kind of like I love bangers. I like things that are sort of easy to digest.
It was not the future Metro Boomin album. You know,
Sure.
In that like glossy production way.
Yeah, but I don't even. It's kind of, maybe it's just nostalgia why I feel this way. I'm not entirely sure why I make the difference, but it's nothing's like sunk its teeth into my brain except for the final track I really love. It's got like haunted house ass beat.
No, I mean, more Pharrell on an album than since like Despicable Me.
Yeah.
I mean, like I was like it was like, you know, it's weird because he's listed on some, but not others. But I guess he has vocals on some of them.
Yes.
But Pharrell's always like
he produces every track.
Every track.
Yeah.
Did Tyler produce one?
No, I thought so too, but he's just a feature. It sounds like Tyler production.
What an interesting, you know, not to make it about Tyler, but it's cool that he can be on these albums.
Yes.
And then, you know, then he gets on his jet and, you know, takes his Louis Vuitton collab. And,
yeah. Speaking of which, by the time that you were listening to this podcast, if you're listening to it on the day it drops, there's a new Tyler the Creator album out. It's called Don't Tap the Glass. Have you heard about this?
Yes. I follow him on Instagram and I saw it and I just did, because like Tyler doesn't announce an album. He'll just post a picture of like, you know, a Mountain Dew can and be like, you know, what do the DJs do? New stuff coming soon.
Sure.
And then, you know, then I see it later and I was like, oh, you know, I never have to ask.
Yeah.
Tyler's just he's always going to give me something good. So
I'm excited. I love that man very much.
And funny overlap too. Pharrell did Despicable Me. Tyler did the Grinch movie.
Yeah.
So who's the next rapper to do a children's movie?
Oh my God. Well, I guess Kendrick did Black Panther, but that's less.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I forgot.
It was his whole label, Top Dog, and then I have to assume they were approached for the sequel, and they said we're good. No, thank you.
We're actually working on something a little different for for one of our Canadian friends. Yeah. So.
All right, I wrote down a couple of things here. Yeah, Tyler. So there's a couple. I think generally, Malice had the better showing. Now that you know to distinguish the two, the second verse, like it's kind of like I guess pretty much anything, or like the classic rule of thumb is you start with your second best, you middle your worst, and then you end with your best. So it's second, third, first. That's just like how you structured most things in life. I try to do that with these topics, but it doesn't really work out that way. But anyway, yeah, so the Malice verses are just insane. His wordplay is completely ridiculous. But I had a verse. Yeah, so there's several times during the listening of the thing where like you just kind of inherently have that like oh, fuck, oh, shit. Tyler's verse did that to me. And that's the best thing about rap is that, like, oh, fuck.
No, someone's like, they're writing a poem and then just, it's going to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, dude.
Who did the pee-pee line?
That was Pusha. Love.
I couldn't pull that off.
Yellow diamonds look like pee-pee.
Everything else on the album I could do. That one line.
You got the street cred to back up these Coke bars.
Do you think? Yeah, I mean, do you think though? Like, what do you think the studio reaction was? Because no one's gonna. I don't think anyone in that room is gonna tell, "Hey, Pusha."
But also, nor would they, because it's you want controversy, you want memes, you want people to be like, "That's funny, ha ha ha."
Yeah.
Kanye was the king of that shit.
True.
Kanye did that all the time, to the point of detriment of like hurting his songs, because he would put these ridiculous fucking bars in.
Well, that's also undiagnosed mental illness.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. What's the anyway?
Not a single yuck on the album.
Yeah, I watched an interview about it. He said he wants to distinguish between the eras of his music. He's like, I'm done with that ad lib.
We're in the yum era.
Yeah.
Don't yuck Pusha T's yum.
Yeah, that's good stuff, dude.
Woo!
Oh man. You're a fucking natural, Landon.
Oh, what can I say?
Okay, so I wanted to talk about this. This is interesting. So people online are talking about this rollout, this album cycle rollout, and how like the marketing guy who did this rollout deserves a Grammy. Like it's really impressive. So there's been they did every interview that you can do. I'm shocked they're not on Hot Ones. I think they probably will be before the week is out. But they did every like media interview possible. They did a ton of podcasts, ton of like just general radio stuff, and just tons of hype and marketing around this album. And I listened to a couple of them. It's really interesting to listen to those two. Just they're normal. They just sound like smart, normal people, and they had this like insane drug-addled backstory, and their music is so fucking intense. So it's really interesting. I was thinking about it. There's a thing with musicians, especially, about mysteriousness and aura, where you kind of lose a bit of that when you go do the interviews and you go do the hype cycle, but you're trading that off for promotion, right? So it's kind of like it's Will Smith, where you have like the desire to be well seen and well liked, but you're hurting your. When you see Will Smith in a movie every 3 years, it's so different than seeing him on YouTube every day. Similar to this, when you listen to a Clipse album, it's much, much different if you just saw them doing an interview being like, yeah, so we put this song here, but first because we thought it would did well, and then the second song it was like kind of it took some work or whatever. You lose the riz.
No, I mean I'm reminded of when like Beyonce just like put an album out at like midnight.
Dude,
I remember I was at like freshman year in the dorms. Someone like runs out, new Beyonce album. I was like, oh shit, like stop what you're doing. But like, cool marketing, and like the album cover, even like Cause is like one of my favorite artists. Like I've seen his stuff in like at museums, great Instagram follow. Like his stuff's at the North Park, like it was so like everything about it was just like class and like put together in such a tight package.
Mm-hmm.
No fat, no like there wasn't anything to be like. I mean, I guess I struggle with like it's dense, so it's hard for me to be like this song is different than this song.
Yes,
because it's hard for me when there's not necessarily like a narrative. Like albums are much easier for me when we're like Good Kid, Mad City. Much easier album for me to be like, okay, I know what we're doing, I know what we're talking about. And
it's also concept albums in general, where it's a storyline. That's a lot easier, but you couldn't agree more, 100%. And I gravitate towards that type of stuff, like the super dense, like kind of having to unpack it. I feel the same way about movies, where like if you need to watch a thing 15 times to really understand it, I have trouble with that. I've heard Synecdoche, New York is fantastic, but that's one of those like just like really tough and penetrable movies that I will eventually watch, but I haven't gotten around to.
We'll do it after Inland Empire.
Yeah, dude. David Lynch. There's a million of like David Lynch that way. Although I love Mulholland Drive.
10 times in a row.
Yeah.
No, we'll get it. No, we'll get it.
Just clawing our eyes out. I had to like remove myself. I watched a few minutes of that. I'm like, I need to like remove my senses from working for a moment. That's brutal. Yeah. Is that movie a masterpiece? Someone tell us in the comments. Let us know if you are a David Lynch stan.
I think we'll do that, and then we'll do his Disney movie about the lawnmower guy.
It's good. I saw it.
Really?
Yeah. It's the least Lynch of all the Lynch movies, but there are touches of his weird style. I watched it with my parents, actually, and they enjoyed it too.
I want Pusha T to do the next children's movie.
Yeah.
Pusha T, do the next Trolls movie.
Oh, dude. I forgot. Yeah, Coke bars about or you could even just just do you have to do allusions to it because it's G-rated. Yeah,
there'll be some Christmas movie. Frozen 4.
White Snow.
That's
perfect.
You just cut me a check, Pusha T.
Yeah, that's actually perfect. I love the idea of you want like a marketable sort of like a normie.
Disney Plus presents.
Yeah.
They probably
Snow
own his
White.
label. The Disney probably owns his label, so it's probably an easy thing,
That's such a good idea. Snow White with Pusha T.
Oh, too bad they already released that one. Damn. I'm sure they'll do a sequel.
Yeah. Hip hop soundtrack to this.
That's what Snow White was missing.
I would have gone to see it. Dude.
You know what? There's no good movies with rap breakdowns anymore. No dance numbers. Sad.
Well, anything more you want to say about Clipse? I think before we close off this section here, the slopic. Patrick always wants me to say slopic. I always forget.
No, you got to hit that.
Yeah. So about the I just still think it's interesting. Well, I don't know. It's very, very white boy of me to be like, oh, Fantano gave it 10. That's why I'm interested in this dark ass, depressing coke rap.
I'm just glad people are putting out stuff that is getting buzz. Not to be like doomer, but with AI music and stuff, it's like it's cool that people are putting out stuff that clearly had a vision and executed it. And is this going to be like my most listened to album of the year? Like, no, but I'm glad that, there's still a guy from the good music era who's still doing his thing. I mean, because I was thinking about that too, is like, who is left? Because it was like, and you think back, like Sci-Hi the Prince,
Oof.
Big Sean, who has admittedly a couple albums I do like, but like hasn't done anything in a while. Kanye, is Nicki Minaj on that label?
No, that's just Young Money. I'm trying to think of who else. Cudi.
Oh yeah, I mean, they just he has his own mental health problems and stuff. So that's like a little bit
Seems
different.
like they kind of all do. But yeah, Pusha was the front runner. He was actually the CEO at one point.
Yeah, that's a really interesting thing too. And I wish I knew more about like how labels were run
Same.
at that level.
Yeah.
Like I don't like.
I've heard nothing but like all the music was so good, and then nothing but bad things behind the scenes. Like Kanye was a nightmare to work with. Shockingly, Kanye West is a nightmare to work with.
I can't believe that. This is news.
Really?
This is news to me.
Oh yeah,
Kanye, with Kanye would be.
No, dude, 100%. And then also, but like he wouldn't let albums drop when they were done.
I remember, and that's like, I mean, talk about like, devastating. No way to devastate a project more. It's like, I remember when Yeezus came out, J. Cole put out Born Sinner.
Yeah,
like
the
same day.
Yes.
Which honestly was cool.
It's the Barbenheimer before its time.
And totally different album. So I don't think it hurt anybody, but like you put your album, you put an album out a week after Taylor Swift's album or something, like
it's steamrolled.
You just get lost in the.
There's similar to that. There's game developers are avoiding the 2 months after GTA 6 like the plague.
Oh, there'll be nothing.
Yeah. There's literally nothing going to come out for
GTA 6 will never come out, so we don't have to worry about that. And it'll be $2 million to play. So,
dude, I heard a rumor it might be $100 a copy. I doubt they're going to do that.
But think about
the revenue.
Think about
how much money you'd make.
Think about the standalone track we're gonna get. The GTA 6 album. GTA albums are standalone.
Ah, I've never done this.
Oh, never listened to
No,
dude. They're like custom songs for those games that even songs like you never even hear during the game. But like, go Spotify, type in Grand Theft Auto.
Okay,
you will not be disappointed.
Nice, cool. I think it's so cool to have a project of that scale and that size. And like GTA 5 is, if you're unfamiliar, the best selling piece of entertainment of all time. It is the piece of entertainment that has made the most money in the history of humanity. Number one. It's crazy. And like it beats every movie, every album, everything. It is sold more. It's done more money than anything else. So when you have that as your previous game, you can put in hundreds of millions of dollars into your production and have like a radio station run by Tim Dillon, which I think is probably going to happen. There's big rumors that might happen, or things like that, or like just there's you can get licensed artists to have, legit excellent music, and not just a handful of songs, but like stations where there's just dozens of songs on each station.
Even like Vice City had like Michael Jackson tracks. I mean, how much did that cost back then?
Crazy.
I mean, maybe not as much now because like video games, maybe the licensing wasn't as expensive. Like they didn't, like now you put a license, a song in a game, billion people are going to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to charge up the ass for that. But like I completely agree. I mean, they're rock stars on their own. They're doing their own thing.
I wouldn't be surprised if some artists are trying to get into the game. Like it's reversed where like, we'll pay you to put our shit in there.
I mean, think of how much exposure you get.
Sure.
There are people who listen to songs the first time, listen to, like the throwback stations. Like it reminds me of Guitar Hero. It's like the first time I ever heard classic rock.
For sure.
Was the video game.
Yeah, mine was Rock Band.
And I am not embarrassed about that. And I am not embarrassed to say I learned to play the guitar because of that game. And I was not good at it.
That's so millennial core of you. It's very millennial. And speaking,
I'm also a Ravenclaw.
Perfect. We'll jump ahead to this. Jump ahead to this topic. Slopic number 4.
Oh, baby.
The Harry Potter show has started production.
Thank God.
Yeah, dude.
Thank God.
Dude, are you gonna? Okay, so I'm actually. I don't know if I'm excited for this, but I will watch it for sure. Like it's.
I mean, I watched the first Fantastic Beasts movie. And like now growing up, I will say, like, read the books, loved the movies, but like, I read them all once.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never read a book twice, I don't think.
Okay.
But like the fandom for Harry Potter, people forget. I mean, did you ever go to a midnight release of a book?
No, I the closest I ever got was buying the 7th book the morning of.
I mean, still, that's I mean, people would buy the book. People would buy a book and read it all night.
Mm-hmm.
There was a scandal where a guy broke into a Barnes & Noble and was spoiling it online. I mean, it was...
There's a video of a guy just skipping. He goes to the head of the Barnes & Nobles, buys the 6th book, skips to the last 2 chapters, finds out that Snape kills Dumbledore, and then shouts it to all these midnight fans, like in the line, which is a horrific thing to do. I hate that guy. That guy sucks. But I mean, the fact that there was a line to a Barnes and Noble at midnight.
It's something that I think. I mean, we get shit on for Harry Potter. We'll always get shit on for it, and like not even undeservedly so. But it is hard for people now to understand that people were excited about a book.
Yeah,
and
every movie was a fucking event. Every piece of it was an event.
The first movie to do the 2-parter that I'm aware of, like and truthfully, like too, all credit where it's due, those casting agents,
Excellent.
either the luckiest people to ever do their job or the best to ever do it. Because how do you pick an entire cast that grows into the characters like they're supposed to?
Yeah.
I mean, that to me is crazy.
It's also crazy because if you go back and rewatch that first movie, they suck in that movie. They're children. Like
right,
they're not good. They're children. You can't blame them because they're children, but like they're not. They become good as the characters get older, and like I don't know how you. To your point, I don't know how you see value in a kid like that.
I know, especially at the
I've never seen value in a kid in my life. Those fucking things. Those guys, little fuckers, are awful.
It is wild, and I think too, like nothing. Our generation suffers too because like we were the same age as them in the books, so I was like 15 reading the 5th book, or like maybe not exactly, but like
literally exactly.
I mean, look,
yes,
I'm still waiting on my letter.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no,
before the Game of Thrones is the thing that I've like the fandom that I've gotten the most enveloped in, and those books are still my favorite books in the world. But before that, I've always been subject to falling in love with a franchise that way. And in my humble opinion, as a fan of media, there's no better feeling than losing yourself in a world and like being engulfed in it. As a kid, as a millennial child, like it was the best thing ever.
Well, and like to me, stuff like that always wins because either one of two things. The artist has a singular, the world is developed, and now they're working, like Tolkien like did like maps first of his books. Like he built his universe to work within it. You know, I don't know if J.K. Rowling did that. I remember the first book, she like, you know, wrote on like a train or something on like a napkin.
Yeah,
Every time I hear,
lore.
she like scrawled it on herself in ink. But like, you know,
she was using the blood of a trans woman
Yeah.
to fucking write with a quill.
And then like she works within her universe. But when you break out of that, when you get your spinoffs, then no one has developed that spinoff world. So it's like the Fantastic Beasts movie. I was like, oh, you know, like that's kind of cool, maybe. And then I was like, oh no, it's kind of just wizard fight.
It's so bad.
And
those movies are, dude. Before you mentioned the Fantastic Beasts movie like 10 minutes ago, I'd forgotten they existed.
And look, maybe that's how they want it to be. I don't know, but like
there were plans, by the way. Sorry to
no.
There were plans to build an expansion on the Universal Park and do like a whole Fantastic Beasts side of the park because that's the new property and everyone's talking. That was the plan, and then the movies just bombed so horribly and everyone hates them that they're like, all right, well, HBO show.
So is the show like new? Is it the Harry Potter universe, or are they redoing in show form?
They are redoing the books in show form, every season being a book. So it's going to be Game of Thrones, but for Harry Potter. That's the idea. I think it could be cool. I do think there's a couple of issues that I can foresee, which is like, for whatever reason, current TV production takes so long and so much longer than it used to. There's like there's 2-year gaps in between each season. Your kids are just going to age out of these roles.
Yeah, it's a great point. And it's just, I mean, you know, even when you film it, like then, I mean, how long is it in post? Like, I mean, you've got, you know, a million, you know, VFX people. I mean, that's the thing too. It's like, it's not like you're on like the set. Yeah. Like, you know, there was like the Cheers set.
Yes.
They could just film as much as they wanted. Here's like, we're going to go on location. And like, if they're doing it, I bet they're going to do it. You're like going to the castles in Scotland. And then, now we're in a new place and you got to go to this, you know, I mean, you find hundreds of thousands of people out. I mean, it's got to be. I mean, if anybody can afford it, it's HBO. But you just wonder, like, I mean, you know, maybe that's the right call because Fantastic Beasts didn't work. So you don't want, you know, you want to go back to what's structured. But like, I don't recall. You know, obviously the movies are a little different than the books because you're taking 500 pages or more. I mean, this fifth book's like 1,000 pages or something. And you're condensing it into a 2.5 hour movie. Yep. But they don't really lose a lot, at least to my memory. Obviously, there's like some, you know, I remember there's like a bunch of like house elf side story stuff and like, you know, we're in potions class again and, you know, we're doing this thing. But like, it wasn't like the core of it was kept in. So like, what would a TV show add?
I think you just
they studying like just like a 30-minute shot of them reading a book. You know,
Hermione cramming for a test. Yeah, it's a good question. I do think that there's a lot to be said for just existing at Hogwarts, just being in the place and spending time there. That is why I have a controversial ranking of the movies.
Hit me.
3 is the best one by far.
I don't think that's controversial.
No, I agree. It's not controversial, but it's also the truth. It's the best one. But then 6 is my number 2, which is Half-Blood Prince. That shit no one thinks. Actually, that might be number 3. Doesn't matter. This is so anyway. But
no, keep going.
I love 6 because there's tons of just going to classes, existing in the school, and just walking around and doing wizard shit.
And the thing that sticks out to me with 6 is like now you've got like, you know, they're doing some like magic with like a K. You know, like they go on the boat to he's drinking the poison stuff. You as an audience member don't know what's happening, and you're like, I thought we were just lifting feathers with our magic wands. Turns out, you know, there's some twisted evil, you know, and plus the, you know, overarching conspiracy. I don't, you know, like
Snape thing.
The plans within plans.
Yep.
Very Dune actually in that respect.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, a total redemption arc for our biggest villain. You know,
the redemption arc doesn't happen until later, but you get the C's and you get the or like whatever.
It's actually his lowest point.
That's when Snape kills Dumbledore in 6.
And you don't. Okay, so it's 7. You find out
Correct.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So all that stuff was retconned, or maybe she knew that from the beginning. I'd give her credit for knowing that from the beginning. All the Horcrux stuff completely retconned, like
But she did it in a look, again, you either build the world out or you're flexible enough to build your framework, and then retcon stuff. Which I mean, I thought it was a great way to use the old stuff, because at a certain point you got to decide, I got to end this. What am I going to do? Oh, well, let's borrow some stuff from before.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Give it meaning. And didn't have a weird, dream ending.
The epilogue. The epilogue is
no, not the epilogue, but when he dies, kind of, and doesn't die.
Very Jesus.
But I interrupted you in your rankings.
No, I don't remember the rest of them. I love the first one because it kind of sets up the world. You have the John Williams score. You have the boats going across the lake, and all that stuff is incredible. Chris Columbus is the director, who deserves absolute credit. Him and his set designers and production designers deserve credit for creating that world, and that all the other rest of the movies.
The original movies? That guy.
Chris Columbus?
Yeah.
He did the first two.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they gave it to Alfonso Cuarón, who is an incredible director. He did Roma and Gravity and a bunch of other old Spanish films that are excellent. But anyway, they gave it to a real director, like an established sort of guy with a vision. And that's why you get 3, which is the best one. And then they gave it to the same guy for 4 through 8.
So one thing that drives those movies and will always resonate with me is, no one has ever distilled teen angst, except perhaps My Chemical Romance, in such a pure form. But do you think that sells anymore? Is the teen angst we had the same teen angst? Will people laugh at it? Because part of those movies, I think they get clowned on because, they're quotable in a very funny way. The fourth movie, infinitely quotable movie.
The hair.
It's perfect. It's a perfect film. But I remember feeling Harry's pissed all the time. He's just sexually repressed.
Yes.
You're living in a dorm with a bunch of stinky British kids. You got to be,
your best friend's pissing you off.
Yeah. And that's, that it's a major driver of most of it. But does that play anymore? Does teen angst play?
I got to tell you, it doesn't play for me. I don't like that fourth movie. But that's part of my controversial thing. I just, generally speaking, I like when characters like each other. I like it when they're having fun. I like when friends are friends, and it just pisses me off. And also, I think that relationship from that movie onward is never really the same or settled. They're kind of at odds for the rest of the series.
The Ron Harry one?
Yeah. They never really kind of get back to what they had in the first 3. He's not even in the third one very much. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. This is so millennial core, this whole conversation.
Look, I will not apologize for being a millennial. I don't have to do it.
You're right.
You know what?
Have you been to Universal?
I have, and I did some of the Harry Potter stuff. And again, it's more, I'm much more of a roller coaster guy.
Oh yeah, me too.
So give me the Titan over a roller coaster movie.
Sure.
So that's what a lot of it was. But look, they built the thing. They built the movie set basically.
It's gotta be insane to walk through Diagon Alley.
It's cool.
And all that.
It's really cool. But did I walk out of there with the Elder Wand? No.
Sure.
But I saw a lot of people that did.
Yeah.
So it's printing money still.
However, were there tons of kids there when
I went?
Or is it just people our age, 100%?
It's not a cheap thing, so unless your parents are taking you,
well, sure,
and still, I don't think little kids care about Harry Potter.
No, I agree.
So it's probably so it's that's
why you have to reinvigorate them. You gotta do the new thing, pump money into the franchise.
Yeah, you got to get the youth.
Yep.
So remains to be seen, I guess. HBO tends to not screw stuff up. So
agreed. I think if it were in the hands of anyone else, it's the only people who I trust. And it wasn't their fault that Game of Thrones became what it did. Yeah, so anyway, that's Harry Potter. I hope, shouts out to the Harry Potter children. They are going to enter a lifetime of scrutiny and hate, and it's crazy.
Unenviable position.
Yeah, also enviable. If you're an actor, you those are the roles that make and break your career. And there's people that do it well, and there's people that don't. Like your Daniel Radcliffe is doing great. He's doing great work, doing weird ass movies. He can do whatever he wants. He's made plenty of money, so he chooses like weirdo, strange
stage
projects,
stuff too.
Stage stuff. I remember that horse thing when he got naked. I remember that very well as a young gay. I was like, Daniel Radcliffe's cock. Nice.
It had everything you could ever want.
Yeah. But then you have like Rupert Grint? Grint? Anyway, Ron.
Sorry.
Yeah, Ron, who's doing jack shit. I don't know what the hell that man is.
He's probably
up to.
counting his money.
That's a good point. I should, yeah, he's doing
But
fine.
to your point, though, then you think about Anakin and the Phantom Menace.
Oh, poor bastard.
And that guy should be a billionaire.
Yes.
And he's one of the most hated people.
I think people have come all the way around on the prequels. I think it's done a complete 180, and the hate is gone.
That's complete nostalgia. It's baiting. That's
absolute nostalgia bullshit.
It's objectively wrong. And I think, we don't have to get a Star Wars thing, but you're right in that with how bad the sequels are,
yes,
or disliked, it does make those other movies look less bad.
Yes.
But it doesn't make them good.
I couldn't agree more. God bless you for saying that, Landon.
Hey,
I really appreciate it.
I'm here to support you.
I swear to God, I have that exact opinion, and people love those movies, and I'm like, it's nostalgia. You have to see if they're not good. You can't tell me they're good, right?
And I'm fine.
You can tell me you like them, which that's totally cool.
Completely agree. Like you can love Star Wars and be like, oh, it's like corny. Just have a sense of humor about it. Like we don't have to get into midichlorians and like you tell me about
yeah,
breaking down the plot that didn't make any sense because a computer wrote it with Rian Johnson. Like
dudes standing in rooms, that's what that movie is. It's guys walking around and mumbling and standing around and talking about politics and talking just on a green screen. Oh
yeah,
my
remember
God.
that lightsaber fight?
That was pretty cool.
made up for the last 2 hours.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna turn my camera over. Hold on just a moment. All right, we saw a film together yesterday. Tell us about it, Landon.
We saw the Ari Aster flick Eddington.
Where you at with Ari Aster?
So I've seen 3 of the 4. Hereditary, obviously mid. No, it's one of the greatest films ever made. Midsummer, I liked, did not love, which apparently gets you a lot of flack. Beau's Afraid, I want to see it, but movies that are 3 hours plus, it's always gonna be later on the watch list. And then we have this.
Yeah, so I think this comparatively to his other features, this is definitely most similar to Beau's Afraid. It is he's kind of gone down this different sort of path where his first 2 are straight up horror movies with is actually getting more comedic as it goes along now I think about it. Whereas Midsummer you have like that comedy character, the Joker, some laughs. And Beau's Afraid, tons of dark comedy elements. That movie did not work for me. I need to rewatch it. I'm one of the few movies that I haven't rated on Letterboxd. It's so much, and similar to this one where I'm having trouble kind of making sense of it in my head. And there's a ton going on. I think it's more dense than Beau's Afraid. Beau's Afraid's kind of segmented, where like you have 3 main sort of plates of gruel, whereas this is like a fucking it's like I don't know, it's like a layer of eggs and then a layer of bacon and then it's like a short sort of, I don't know, my metaphor's kind of shit, but it's dense is what I'm trying to get at. So what are your general impressions? Did you enjoy the thing?
I didn't hate it.
I'm right there with you.
But I guess there's a lot with this movie that I struggle with.
That's staying in. That's good stuff.
So did not hate it.
Yeah.
Struggle with it for. Look, she agrees. Okay, sorry. She agrees with me. I'm right.
Where were we?
Where were we? Didn't hate it. Unpacking it. So, what I can't figure out.
Before, let me stop you there.
Good.
I was gonna say let's do no spoilers for the first half of the discussion, and then we'll go to spoilers later.
So, just to break it down, I'd say a synopsis of the movie is a little town in New Mexico slowly kind of devolves following the COVID outbreak, and devolves like politically and becomes divided politically. A lot of that fueled by Joaquin Phoenix, who's like the sheriff of this little town, and then Pedro Pascal is the mayor of it. And Pedro Pascal is like your, mask mandate. He's pushing for, this is like peak COVID too, so like May 20. And Joaquin Phoenix is like, I don't want to wear my mask, and they eventually run against one another for office, and like that's where the tension of the movie is.
Yep. It covers everything that happened in 2020. It's pretty wild. I mean, you have the start with the you have the start with like the virus, and how there's like all these questions in the air, and people have all this misinformation in their head, like the COVID would stick on napkins for 7 days and stuff like that. I remember all that time. I think they cover the George Floyd stuff heavily. There's plenty of like pretty much everything that happened in that era is covered extensively in this movie, and I couldn't shake the feeling of just feeling gross about it. Especially the first half, I was just like, oh, like this time was just miserable. I don't want to like, and that's the point. That's the point of it. But it wasn't a fun sort of like, I love horror movies because it's fun to take yourself to that fucked up place. But this is just like, it's like slogging through very recent miserable history, and like, one, extremely accurately for a lot of it. Like the opening, is like, there's like a mask kerfuffle, which like, back then, that was like all Twitter was, it's all Instagram was. It was so-and-so freaks out mask something. And, what's interesting too is like, it's a really small town, which is also kind of a weird thing about the movie. Like COVID was way different. Like if you lived in New York in May 2020, your life was way different than our lives in Dallas, than if you live in Montana in a tiny town, things probably didn't change. Yep. So it's this kind of weird, or didn't change right away to the point of this movie. Like I remember that time and remember thinking like, because you see it on the news first, it's in China, and like, oh shit, there's parts of the US that are affected. Sure. Like, well, that's crazy. And then I remember the moment that it became real in my head was when was it all of France shut down all their schools? Like France shut down all their schools. I was like, huh?
Yeah, like Italy didn't have enough doctors.
Yeah, dude. So but then you like, and then it starts. There's not people that you hear about cases happening in Dallas, Texas, and then you're like, okay, so it does eventually spread everywhere. Similar to like, that's one of the plot points of this movie is like he starts off saying COVID's not here, it's out there, and then of course it comes here.
Right, and like I guess like one thing that was kind of interesting about it, and now this is like, I guess, a stolen analogy, but like, the movie Mother? Yes. So like I've only watched Fred the Media review, and frankly, that's all I'm ever going to do with it. But it's kind of like a fantasy, like a play almost, in that like the town is kind of a character, that like all the things like, COVID happens, then like the George Floyd riots are happening there. It's like COVID and everything in 2020 is like bottled into this town. Political strife, and like then like, but then it started adding stuff that was not specifically COVID, and that seemed to just not go anywhere. And that's my biggest issue with the movie, is that he could not resist pulling strings that didn't go anywhere. So like, and I don't know if this counts as spoilers.
Let's major plot stuff we'll wait for a second. But I think just general vibes of the movie. I recommend seeing it, especially. I think it's the first. Is it the first modern movie? Meaning, like, is it the first movie about this era that we're living in now? I think I've never seen a COVID movie like this. I think the closest, and also we'll talk. You made a great point yesterday, which is it gets all the technology stuff really, really, really perfectly well done. Like all the Twitter, all the Instagram. I'm just gonna parrot your point from yesterday, but most of these movies that you see are like Actually, you just go ahead and say it.
Well, it's like, it's like, oh, I made a face space post.
Yes,
and it's like,
yes.
But they shelled out. They got real Facebook, real Instagram, like, which normally, why would you spend the money on it? But in this movie, because, I mean, all we were doing was being on our phones, like, it would have totally lessened the movie if you didn't have the actual IP
100%
for that. And it's utilized too. Like, it's funny, like Joaquin Phoenix, like, older guy, sheriff of the town, he posts on Facebook. The kids are using Twitter and Instagram. So it's, and it's effortless in how he executes the technology, or like how he uses it, versus like, I mean, there's always just, I mean, so many movies are just like, oh, well, those kids are always on their phone. Like, no, it's none of that. Everyone's using their phones and computers like how real people did.
Mm-hmm.
And for better or worse.
Yep.
I mean,
I've always been curious, by the way, about why that's an issue in so many movies. Is it? Do you have to pay these companies to use their thing?
It has to be licensing, and frankly, like half the time, it's probably just like, I always wonder too, like, is it like they do in post? Like, because you can't, like, you don't get good footage when you like film a screen.
Exactly. Most of that stuff is put in post, but I couldn't. If they did it in post this time, it was really well done, or they figured out how to shoot it.
I mean, even like you see people scrolling on their phone. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah.
And like normally, like, who cares? But like it added to kind of like what.
For sure.
I mean, that's how it was.
Yeah.
You just sit in the dark and scroll Twitter, and everyone was anxious and unhappy no matter where you were in the world. And there, it was just a miserable time.
Yep.
That most people do not want to talk about.
And most people don't want to relive
Right.
in the form of a 2.5 hour fucking drama.
There's a part
comedy.
there's a part where someone gets a COVID test through the drive-through, and he's like sticking his head out the window, and they're sticking the thing in his brain, and everyone in the theater just felt the back of their throat.
Yes,
like,
yes.
That
is a repressed memory.
Yeah, no, it was, I don't throw around like the word trauma, but like that was a shared trauma that none of us want to think about again.
100%.
And
so it is interesting, like, conceptually, to revisit that shitty time for I hesitate to use the word, it's a horror director, so like a dark comedy, but I couldn't shake that feeling for the first half. And this is where I think, unless you want to say any other general vibes, we can just go straight into plot.
I mean, at the top, like, what were some strengths? We got the technology. Like, to me, I thought great looking movie, as all of his things are, I'm sure. I mean, the camera is basically like on Joaquin Phoenix's shoulder the whole movie, which, like, so you're with him in a very personal, close way. When we're not with him, we're a little bit more distant from our characters, and like, so we're following Joaquin Phoenix basically the whole movie.
Yes.
And so you get the feeling, the camera work and everything drives the point home that, like, here, this is our narrator, basically.
Not only that, I would even say a bit of, maybe intentional, but deceptive marketing, where you think they're co-leads, Joaquin and Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal is barely in this movie. It is a Joaquin Phoenix movie. It's very Beau's Afraid that way, where you're always with him the whole fucking time.
And Emma Stone has
is also there.
10 minutes of screen time, maybe. Emma Stone's mom in the movie gets more screen time by a lot.
Yeah.
She's
by the way, that lady's in Hereditary. She's the
is she the seance lady?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
You gotta keep her around. I always think it's Margot Martindale for some reason, because I guess that'd be way funnier in my mind if she was the Hereditary lady.
Yeah.
But it's not.
That's funny. But yeah, beautifully shot. There's so many incredible. I mean, this is. I won't tell you where it is in the movie, but there's a guy shooting a rifle into a gun range target practice, and he shoots a hole, and the camera flips around, and you see him through the hole that he shot, and then another hole appears here. It's like the camera work is really impressive. There's like a great long ass oneer at one point where the camera's it's like that Kendrick Lamar Humble video.
The 3D,
that's going all around. That stuff's really cool.
Even the opening, like, I've never seen a title sequence done this way, but they drive past the sign for Eddington, the town, and the light hits the name of the town, and it's like kind of out of center of the frame as your title sequence. And I was like, oh, that was like, I can't think of another example of that, but like Perfect. It was cool. And like they never do titles in movies anymore. Yeah, it's always at the end. So
a title drop. It seems like horror movies are the only ones that do it. I love a title drop. I love it.
Give me 10 minutes. Cut to the title. It's like Law and Order. Start the show. Hit me with the banger.
Actually, the best, my favorite one of all time is your favorite movie, Midsommar. Midsommar has my favorite. Which yeah. There's
are all his movies like that?
Hereditary doesn't. I don't think Bo's. I think it's just Midsommar. But anyway, it's Florence Pugh scream crying with her boyfriend.
That summarizes the whole movie.
In her apartment, it's snowing like insanely outside, and the camera just pans over her as she's like sobbing, goes out the window into this just fucking falling snow, and just A24 presents Midsommar. Oh fuck! I remember so distinctly in the theater as such a Hereditary fan. I ejaculated. You know.
No, I sat next to you in this movie, so I was well aware of what was going on. Yeah.
So anyway, that's a story for another time. I think we can get into the plot. I think if you do not want spoilers for this movie, Eddington, I would recommend you see it. It's interesting.
I mean, I think if you like Ari Aster or just like, I mean, if nothing, I mean, I'll tell you what, I've not seen a movie like this.
Yeah.
I've not seen. I mean, I love Joaquin Phoenix. And he never plays the same character in any movie, and it's interesting. His performance is interesting in this movie, and I think totally believable. So if for nothing else, I mean, you dropped in a time capsule of, everyone's favorite year. So, why miss out on that?
A beloved time had by all.
Revisiting trauma is part of the way you deal with it.
That's a good point. So, it's like EMDR.
Yeah,
dude. All right, we'll get into plot now. Skip there'll be time codes in the description. I forgot to say this at the top, but if you don't want to, whatever. I might actually put this in. I'm actually just going to do a little thing here and put it at the top.
Yeah.
So I loved there's like basically you have Joaquin Phoenix, and he's this impulsive sheriff who we had some different interpretations. The group that we saw it with, I had a friend who thought that he was kind of like a neutral good force. He was trying to do the right thing for the whole movie. I did not think that at all. I thought he was acting selfishly most of the time, and he's full of ego, this guy, in my opinion. And as soon as he gets like the littlest bit of pushback about the masks mandate, he impulsively decides to run for mayor without clearing it with his wife or doing anything. He just records a video on Facebook, and he's like that recurring line, which is very funny, of like, don't make me think about it. Like, I was just do it before I can think about it.
Yeah.
Which is maybe, I feel like there's a lot of subtext here that
there's too much subtext here.
Agreed.
And that is one of my biggest criticisms with the movie, but continue.
Yeah. So anyway, he impulsively uploads this video of, I'm your sheriff and now I'm running for mayor. And so that's what kind of kicks off the whole
It is great, though, because it's a in the truck selfie video. Yes. So, like, I mean, things like that are perfect.
Yes.
Like, truly perfect. Like, he kind of like, he's just as awkward as like when like officials would go on and do the selfie videos. So like that stuff was great. But
Agreed. Yeah. So he goes home and he has this like QAnon obsessed mother-in-law living with them, who is the woman from Hereditary. And like to your earlier point, she gets more screen time than Emma Stone. Emma Stone is like a nothing character. I don't know what Emma Stone is supposed to be. What is she doing? Maybe it's just like she represents like his loved ones, but there's barely a relationship there. They have one like start to a sex scene that fizzles out, and there's something like, he touches her and she whimpers.
So
what was
the movie
that?
Opens with Joaquin Phoenix watching a YouTube video about how to talk about having a child with your partner who doesn't want to have children.
Yes.
So it opens there, and Joaquin Phoenix basically like totally, I hate using this phrase, but like he's like emasculated at home, meaning that like his mother-in-law is living with them, which he doesn't want. He wants to have children, but he can't talk to his wife about it. It's unclear to me, but like Emma Stone is either like, I couldn't tell, like there was one line I may have misheard, but like she isn't physically well enough.
I don't know what that is
to have sex, or she just like mentally isn't with it, but they're not intimate. And so, but it's not really like a thing where that drives Joaquin Phoenix. And like maybe it does, because like when he's outside of the house, he's never consulting with Emma Stone. He's always making crazy calls and posting insane things that you would never do.
Yeah.
Which kind of took me out from the movie sometimes too. But I don't know. I don't know what.
Maybe it's like a lack of communication is one of the themes that we're working with. There's a lack of communication amongst the people of the town. There's a lack of communication amongst people in real life because of the mandates and everything. Everyone's kind of digesting these things through the very stilted, insane video format online, and that's what our main character is producing. He's producing insane content, basically. Maybe that's something.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, and to like in the town, like it's like your microcosm of like you have like your two factions, like the Joaquin and Phoenix faction, and then the Pedro Pascal. But like the weird thing about the movie to me, and this is jumping way ahead, but it's like, and this is what I was struggling with last night. I was up to like 3 a.m. thinking about this because I couldn't sleep. But I was like, okay, so this movie's saying that all conservatives are dumb hicks and all liberals are like performative hypocrite wusses. And then while that's happening, the deep state wins.
That was
it's like doomer sci-fi in that like we're all being played, but like also not being played. Like it was just never clear. Like it was like no one had agency. But it was also the thing. So one plot thread is like, and it's like weirdly touched on in the beginning of the movie and then at the end, which I had a big problem with. Not that like I needed a reminder, but like, so the town is trying to get a giant data center, some like, Elon Musk-esque data center. And Pedro Pascal is pushing for it. He wants this to be because Pedro Pascal's campaign manager works for the deep state or whatever. And then ironically, at the end of the movie, Joaquin Phoenix becomes mayor by unconventional means. And then they build the thing.
Yeah.
They build the data center. So it's like, even the liberals were going to build it, the conservatives were going to build it. So like, we're just helpless and the deep state wins. Like,
or just capitalism, consumerism beats out overall.
And maybe. I just struggle with that. I struggle with the deep state thing.
It's odd to me. So this is, I was confused about this to the point where I had to get clarification from you guys after the thing where like there are literal Antifa freedom fighters that come into the movie, that are flown into the movie and attack our characters
for no reason.
What is that?
Like, another issue I had was that I'm fine with like a kind of, for lack of a better term, like a fantasy ending. Like to me, the ending of this movie felt like, we were talking about this earlier, a lot of movies end with lobotomies. Cuckoo's Nest, spoiler, Shutter Island, spoiler, and Brazil were the 3 that came to mind. And all of them have this kind of like loftier ending. But the mechanism in the movie that let that happen in Cuckoo's Nest is very real. He's in the mental institution. A doctor writes an order, he gets lobotomized. Brazil, we're way out there. So how he gets there isn't as important. In this movie, I needed how Joaquin Phoenix, spoiler, gets lobotomized at the end of the movie.
Yes.
I needed that to be within the world of the movie.
Agreed.
And for some reason, Joaquin Phoenix, he kills Pedro Pascal. He's like on the run. And Antifa gets sicked on him. For what reason? What the deep state, okay, they exist. They're running everything. Was their goal to kill Joaquin Phoenix?
Yes.
Why? Because then they use his as like a martyr to build the data center. So I was just like, why is Antifa here? Why are they hunting down? Because as it's happening, you're like, is this a dream?
Yes.
And it's mixed in with the dream sequence.
I thought for sure they were going to cut back out, but then it keeps going, and then it's like 25 minutes of this gun fight, this gun battle that concludes the movie, and I'm like, okay, this is for sure not This ain't a bit. This is real. Yeah. So I don't know what I think dude, yeah. I'm honestly really. I should have done some deep dive on Reddit, or this is one of those things where there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of themes happening, and I do think that it would benefit from a second viewing. And I don't feel particularly inclined to do that, at least currently. I think maybe in a little bit I'll feel differently. But yeah. So also, what are you saying by making the Antifa freedom fighters real? Isn't that like the super hardcore right talking point of these like Antifa murderers?
Right. That's my thing. It's like I just didn't understand. Sorry. Let's say, if Antifa's real, and it always bothers me in movies when the bad guy has a plot that gets to the end, but it makes no sense why he would do certain things. Like, why did they care about killing Joaquin Phoenix? It makes no sense. Like, how did they, there's never an indication that, like, I mean, maybe Antifa's like in the town the whole time and like someone's going to post screenshots and be like, here's an Antifa guy. But like, it kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, agreed. And also, why does Antifa equal deep state? Is that true?
I mean,
I don't think so.
I'll be honest, like, some conspiracy theories, I just don't have I love reading about them, but like some of them I'm just like,
yeah,
it's
that's why getting to the earlier point of just kind of feeling exhausted by this whole time. There's so much of that in it, and this movie explores so much of that, and it does get to be like
so I'm gonna switch gears. So one issue I had with this movie was tone. And it had tonal whiplash almost throughout the entire, to the extent of like a Marvel movie, serious moment, Thor makes a joke.
Yeah.
It was so weird. Like at the end of the movie, Joaquin Phoenix is lobotomized, and it's tragic. It's uncomfortable.
Can we briefly talk about how he gets lobotomized?
I would love to.
Why does he take a pickaxe to the forehead? Is it just extreme to be extreme, to be crazy?
It was totally unnecessary because like you could just like, so at the end of the movie, Joaquin Phoenix is 1v1ing an Antifa guy and his gun jams. Yeah. And I guess the Antifa guy decides knife is going to be the call here. And he stabs Joaquin Phoenix over the top of his head, not once, with like a big, Crocodile Dundee knife.
Yeah.
Stabs him twice to where Joaquin Phoenix is on the ground with a giant knife sticking out of his head, which I don't know a lot about anatomy. You got really strong, a really good knife.
Yeah.
It is not, I'll tell you what, it's probably not my go-to way. When you could just as easily have like bullet hits him and severs his spine.
Sure.
Like why go... Again, just it was weird things like that. Like he gets killed, he gets hurt in this comical way. Cut to he's a quadriplegic, and like we're watching like him like getting bathed and like it's like heart wrenching and like a cruel fate for our main character.
Really odd.
And then they're doing it. Then in the middle of it, Joaquin Phoenix is getting like dragged to the toilet by his nurse. And the most out of nowhere full frontal scene in all of cinema,
completely unnecessary, hangs dong for no reason.
Which like I was like, okay, I'm with you. Then Joaquin Phoenix like jerks, and the nurse slaps him in the head.
Yes.
To laughs in the audience, and he goes, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah.
So I'm like, what are you trying to say here? Like,
yeah.
And it was just like that the whole movie. It was just every time something serious would happen, I could never tell. I was like, is this satire? Is this whatever? And I know Reddit will tell me that I'm too dumb to get satire, but when satire is so much that you don't know what the commentary is on, it's not effective.
Agreed.
At least for me.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Give me more of your thoughts.
I just have trouble with it. It was a lot. I broadly speaking was not, and I was struggling through the first half. Kind of being dragged through, like you said, this sort of traumatic time, and I think similar to his last movie, he has all these ideas and all these thoughts and all these things that would be cool in a movie, and he just jams them all in there. And some of them don't. Some of them should be cut. He needs to. Maybe he's like, I don't know. This has a lot more merit, I think, to me than. Dude, it's even hard to. I only saw Beau's Afraid once, but I think they both have a lot of merit and about a lot going on and a lot that like demands a second viewing. But I do think he got lost in the sauce with this one, or with both of them for that matter. But I'm having trouble formulating a coherent thought about any of the themes in this film because there's it's just a ton.
The movie doesn't let you. Okay, so here's a perfect example. So Emma Stone, randomly in the middle of the movie, meets this like Austin Jesus Butler. Figure, Austin Butler, who is like basically like a satanic panic prophet. And like I don't know how familiar you are with the satanic panic.
Sure.
But like so like there was a time in the 80s where like the FBI was investigating people. I don't know this super well, but like that they believed that children were being kidnapped for, ritual sacrifice. And so I thought this Austin Butler's character was going to go in like, your Epstein route, like, because he starts talking about how he got, kidnapped as a child and like sold to other congressmen. It's like really grisly. And then it goes even farther and he's like, and they did like a most dangerous game with us where they like released the children and hunted us down. So we're past Epstein. We're into like satanic ritual. And then Austin Butler cuts to like a joke. It's so weird.
It seems also like you weren't supposed to fully believe him when he was saying that. That was the vibe.
But then Emma Stone is having like repressed either false or repressed memories about her past abuse. And later on in the movie, she like calls her mom, is like accusing her of abusing her. So it's just like, what am I supposed to get? Like, is like Antifa's real in this universe? The deep state's real in this universe. Why leave that stuff up to interpretation? Like, and it just has no, I don't know. It's a thread that's pulled. And again, all that happens is Emma Stone leaves him.
Yep.
And then this guy gets her pregnant and
yeah, there's no payoff to that whole plot. It's just that Emma Stone leaves. Maybe in being impregnated by what does that dude represent?
Again, it was just like, I don't know. I mean, it would just be stuff like, this is probably too harsh, but it felt like in some ways, like you took everything on Twitter in the 2020s and put in a blender.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, we covered everything from, masculine, feminine relationships, Native American land rights, BLM, police violence.
The Native American stuff was another massive theme that was like kind of just barely touched on, and you didn't really have a resolution. Or how did that even relate to the rest of the plot?
It kept pulling me out to where like it became overwhelming,
and it also made me feel stupid for not fully understanding these like, I was like, okay, like this is, again, I made this comment last night, but this is my level of articulation for a lot of this stuff. I'm like, there's something with the Native Americans. Like I point at the screen and I go, there's something there. There's like, they keep in the final act, he falls through the ceiling and lands in this museum. He lands on the bones of a Native American person, and then he like trucks out through this museum. I'm like, okay, what are you saying? Are you saying that we're, and then but then also they're constantly making the joke of to make fun of the super left wing protester people. They're like, this is stolen land,
right.
And then when it's there, it's supposed to be seen as like a joke, like haha, these white people are so performative,
right.
But then you're also alluding to that with the Native American stuff, right?
The only thing that I thought paid off was there's this young kid, the white privileged kid, and he's joining leftist politics because he has a crush on a girl.
That was amazing.
Which it was great.
I love that stuff. Is hilarious. His whole turn back to what's the guy's name? The gun right wing.
Rittenhouse.
Yes. Hilarious. That was the best little button on the movie of him going full right wing.
And I liked that. I mean, again, it was played for laughs. Weird call, but like, it was the one thing I could pull out and be like, okay, REI's just trying to say like, we will move our political compass.
Yes.
Because to self-serve.
Yes.
I was like, perfect. I'm totally good with that. Again, they totally nailed the end of it with like the kid goes on, like the kid shoots an Antifa guy,
like
goes on to do a
Kelly.
podcast.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it was pitch perfect.
Yes.
But I would say that's like one of the only things that, you know, I could really pull out from the movie. A lot of it felt to me like, and again, I think people are going to praise this movie and be like, it's so much you could grab onto anything.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like just like a cacophony of noise. Like,
Well,
in horror movies when like there's like women wailing, kind of like Midsommar. Yeah. I had this weird vision of like, there's like one part where they're all like in the middle of a riot, and like, then people are like kind of like speaking like slam poetry in the middle of like everyone yelling.
What happens to me when I see things like that is my eyes get low, my brain kind of shuts down a bit, and I'm not, you know, there's a way to do, because there's no tension there in that scene. I know exactly the scene you're talking about, and it's just noise. It's just noise for the sake of noise, and also I think this is a big part of it, where our main character Joaquin Phoenix is this kind of like wimpy asshole who is inherently annoying to, and when you have that as your focal point, when you add the noise around like an annoying wimpy protagonist, it just becomes kind of an uncomfortable watch. The same exact thing happens in his previous film. So it's a weird sort of thing. And like, there's a way to do noise that's tense. I'm trying to think of a good example, but I can't think of one right now. But like, when you have just...
It reminded me of Rosemary's Baby. At the end when
yes.
You're kind of... It was
but like, that's like 3 minutes at the end of a 2-hour feature. This is the rest of the...
No, yeah. I mean, in like... I don't know. Like, I mean, I'll say this. If he was trying to make you uncomfortable by remembering what Kova was like, he succeeded.
Yes.
My question is why? Why? I'm fine with him recreating that, but you know, I would just like to see maybe, and like, you know, again, maybe I just missed it, but like, why re-experience COVID? Is it to just illustrate that we're just like monkeys that like can't, you know, we're just like, you know, lizard brain, we're just gonna operate this way forever, you know, and while we're fighting the corporations take over? I mean, okay, but like it was just, I think another weird thing is like he discredited both camps. Like,
that was the one thing that I appreciated. I liked that he was not choosing a side, and he was a very, you know, like central, making fun of both sides thing. But when you run the risk of not saying anything if you do that, right? Or, which I don't know. I think it's fine. It's fine to just make art for the sake of it. I'm torn on that. I think that was honestly one of the things that I appreciated about the movie, is that he kind of just stuck to his guns, as like both sides are silly.
It was certainly not a movie to be like, oh, both sides have a good point. It was just everyone's
both sides
wrong,
are idiots,
and everyone's wrong for the wrong reasons.
Right.
Too, you know, like Joaquin Phoenix is asthmatic, and like you think he would be very worried about COVID, but his motivations aren't really explained. But like, you know, then the left side is like, they're just, you know, everyone's a liberal because, you know, it gets you laid, I guess, which but like, I think another thing too is like, then the movie starts like escalating to where like, we're in this little town, like maybe the sign said 5,000 people, but we have like a massive riot in the middle of it. So it's kind of like fantastical to me. It was like, you know,
especially the third act was insane. I mean, the whole shootout thing, the fact that there's no one on the streets or any of that so many times where I thought was like, is this real even what's happening?
I don't know.
They're right. Yeah. Absolutely to that point of like, it keeps escalating and you kind of just have to raise your tension. And yeah, I don't know. And also the fact, I mean, this is kind of waved away with one of those, you know, throwaway lines, but the fact that there's 3 cops in this entire town, I guess it's small, but 3 cops, period. And then no matter how crazy this thing gets, there's never any more police that are involved, and the police do nothing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you make sense of that era. I mean, it's not a time where you're going to be like, and this is why this happened. You know, like you're never going to do that. And I guess he was going for like recreating that feeling with chaos, which I mean, he did in a lot of ways that were, you know, I thought powerful, but I guess to what end? You know, and especially how the movie ends when Joaquin Phoenix gets stabbed in the head, lest we forget, and then he now is suddenly lucid mother-in-law,
who, by the way, it seemed like they have a major personality shift, right?
And, yeah, I mean, mom was like, I mean,
bumbling the whole movie,
and now she's his campaign manager, spokesperson. Now they live together because he's a quadriplegic.
Is he living in Pedro Pascal's house? Is that what that was?
I don't remember because they repaved it. So if it was the same house, it looked different from the outside.
Maybe that's what that was. I don't know.
But then it's just like, I'm like, what? Okay, so Joaquin Phoenix went on this path to what? Now he's trapped in a body that can't move, and he can't. Does he even talk? Can he even talk?
He just moans when he sees his wife pregnant with Austin Butler's kid.
And look, mother-in-laws, if you are suddenly living with your quadriplegic son who got stabbed in the head, don't show him a video of his ex-wife being impregnated by Austin Butler. It was, but it was shit like that would happen in the movie. I was like,
why would you do that?
No person would do that.
Yeah.
There was even one weird scene where like the Kyle Rittenhouse kid is like best friends with Pedro Pascal's son. And then Pedro Pascal's, he's like, oh, I got a crush on this girl. And Pedro Pascal's son just is the most vindictive, like from out of nowhere. He's like making out with this girl, and he's like selfieing pictures to his friend. I was like, wow, that was really weird.
Maybe that's just like it shows how you get radicalized. I don't know. That made me laugh out loud though. I mean, that was so insane. I'm like, who? If they're not friends, they're mortal enemies clearly. Because like, why else would you ever do that?
Yeah.
Hilarious. Also, the pedophilia angle with the cop.
Oh yeah.
There's so many threads that are just like, huh? For 2 seconds you get this line of it's Joaquin Phoenix's coworker is this black guy,
like a
deputy who dated our main the girlfriend of that we're talking about that sent the photo to fuck me. Like the Kyle Rittenhouse kid was
like
making
Eric
out with this
Bobby,
girl.
like
yes.
they're just, you know.
And then Kyle Rittenhouse kid sends the photo to the cop to like try to stir that up, and they try to blame the whole thing on him. But like for 2 seconds, they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, she's vaguely 18." You're like, huh?
No, it's heavily implied that like he was involved with this girl when she was a teenager.
Yes.
But again, but the weird other half.
Why though? But why?
The weird other half is that like they just kind of use him, or she, every time she interacts with him, she's like, oh, like you're a black cop, like, you know, you shouldn't, like, that's like the only time they like really involve their relationship. And I'm like, so like, I don't know, like, again, so it's weird. It's like you want to like, I guess you want to latch onto a character. I'm like, okay, you know, this is interesting, like, you know, like a minority person who's in law enforcement at this time, you know, gotta have been heavy. Also, he's dating an underage girl. Why? So you're like,
but why though? Why is that in there?
I don't know. But I'm like, okay, so like now I want to understand this guy's position, but also he's a pedophile. So
yeah.
No. Okay,
and then also, please, please.
One question.
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
So there's this super weird piece where Pedro Pascal's wife just disappeared for no reason.
Oh yeah.
And I was wondering, is the Austin Butler sex cult, is it coming in from the deep state to pull the wives away from people running for mayor in the town? To what end? Again, why is that a plan? Why are you doing that? What point does it serve? But
I like that.
Two mayors or mayoral candidates, 2 wives gone without explanation.
It's never explained where the first one goes. Pedro Pascal's wife, right?
No.
It's just alluded to. That's really interesting. Could be. And I will ask once again, but why? But why though?
But why?
Yeah.
But why summarizes a lot of the movie.
Yes. You're working with a lot of ideas here. You're working with a lot of themes. Things are happening in the movie at a breakneck pace. This reminded me at certain points of my least favorite movie of all time, which is the Rise of Skywalker, the 9th Star Wars film, where it's just never not something happening. Something's going on, bop, 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 bop. And if you close your eyes for a second, you're missing something. That movie is vile piece of shit, whereas this one is not. This one is like actually interesting, but it did have that breakneck pace, and also it's 2.5 hours long, so you have like really, really dense, long movie, which is tough. And so yeah, I walked out like I think honestly the second half kind of won me over a bit, just because of how crazy it gets and how, I mean, I had no idea where it was going at any point.
No, and honestly, like, great action set pieces.
Yes.
I mean, one of my favorite tropes in any movie is what's funny is that this is a horror movie, or not a horror movie, but the jump scares were all action. So it was like, Pedro Pascal sitting in his house, and then sniper shot comes in.
Oh,
and I was like, "Whoo!"
That was the best.
scene. It's one of my favorite movie tropes is the bullet flies through the window.
Yes.
Sniper thing. Love that.
100%. Another great shot is the kid's like looking at his dead dad. He looks out the window, and you see the flare of the gun a second before it comes through the windshield. Excellent.
Yeah, no, it was, stuff like that like, there was like, people's heads exploding, and like, it was grisly.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I was, that's the only thing I was expecting when I walked into this movie. I was like, there's going to be some fucking horrific violence, and I was not disappointed. Can we talk about but why?
But why? But why?
What are you saying? What's the
But why?
And then also, can we talk briefly, because we got to wrap it up soon, about this, the fact that the black cop became sort of the centerpiece of, like, he was the kind of like had the last laugh at the end. And also he got kidnapped by the Antifa people, and they had this like elaborate bomb set up. What was all that?
Well, at first,
explain it to me, Landon.
I will. So at first, the deputy is looking like the perfect. One, you think he's the killer of Pedro Pascal.
You think that,
or at least I thought we were led to believe.
Oh yeah, because they set up the sniper stuff.
Because he's talking about, hey, I'm a great shot.
Yes.
His now girlfriend is or his ex-girlfriend, his ex underage girlfriend is like talking to the husband, or talking to Pedro Pascal's son. He's the killer. Then we zoom out as Joaquin Phoenix, but then deputy is the perfect scapegoat. So Joaquin Phoenix frames the deputy. Then Antifa rescues him from the jail. Then they
rescues him. They just remove him from the jail.
Then they Joker Dark Knight
yes.
strap a bomb to him, like, you got to go to Harvey Dent or Rachel.
Yes.
And then
also they have the thing of like, don't speak or else we'll shoot you. So he's like keeping his mouth clenched. He's trying to communicate to these people. What was that?
Then an IED explodes, just it rips one deputy apart.
Yes.
But our other deputy lives. Michael,
with like Jason Voorhees shrapnel in his face,
and I guess we do see him, and I was like, is he still alive? And like, it at least gives you that. Like, it's not like he's still alive. Like, you do kind of see him twitching.
Yes. And
then at the end of the movie, he's just zooming in on Joaquin Phoenix, like, you tried to frame me, now you're paralyzed forever. And doesn't it end with him shooting?
I don't. Yeah,
is that how it ends?
Yes, it ends with him doing the target practice.
Target practice.
Yeah, that's the last shot we see, I think.
But why?
What is the target practice stuff? What is any of it? What is like? And also like, okay, so you're filming Joaquin Phoenix. You're bringing it back to the theme of
like your social media.
But is he gonna post that, or like? What is
that? Was just like it was like just sadism. It was like I'm just gonna relish you being an invalid.
Also,
forever.
I mean, this is also. Would he actually be the mayor? Let's keep it.
No, I think a completely fair point. I mean, it just to me was like, at that point, it's so fantastical, yes. And in the end, corporate America wins. Big tech wins. But why?
And also the big tech stuff, is it bad?
So I was thinking about this too. So you're telling me that they had to build this thing in this tiny town in New Mexico, that Antifa, the deep state, had to have this location. Mm-hmm. They couldn't have moved it 500 yards elsewhere.
And again, it's a stolen land thing, but weren't you joking about that earlier? Like, are you trying to say that we shouldn't be building anything out here?
But again, it's kind of just like a metaphor of like, oh, little towns will sell out to big corp or whatever. But
Is that the first thing we see?
Yeah.
Well, by the way, we haven't talked about the homeless guy. That's another freaking massive theme. Something's going on there. That's the first character we see is the homeless guy, and he's wandering around the build site for this new massive. That's how you book in your movie. And then the homeless guy is the first guy that Joaquin Phoenix kills. And for the record, the homeless guy, or my friend Nick said he might represent COVID because he's coughing and he's walking into the town.
He's certainly like a horseman.
Yeah.
Like he's
Harbinger.
Yeah, because honestly, it made me laugh. Like the riots are going on, this homeless guy just walking around just coughing on people.
So that was great. That was great.
It's just like I was like, when am I supposed to laugh?
Yeah.
Or not? You know, like
I do think it's got to be hard to act homeless. But I don't think his mutterings, his schizophrenic ramblings, didn't strike me as authentic. I don't know. It seems like
you think you've seen more authentic.
They should have gotten a real schizophrenic guy, brought him on set, slapped him on the ass, and told him to do some good work. I don't know. It's got to be tough to be like and still do the lines.
He is obsessed with drinking alcohol.
Yes,
his basically only motivation is to break into that bar and drink.
Oh man,
tequila. So,
God, yeah. There's a lot. It's just a lot, man. It's a lot. I think it is worth a rewatch. Okay, so yeah, homeless guy. I don't really know. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe he's COVID. Maybe that's what he's representing. And yeah, it's interesting. That's how he start the movie is big tech and homeless guy.
And we don't revisit either one frequently enough for the movie to end on big tech.
Yes.
Like I forget. I thought halfway through the movie, I was like, remember when they were trying to build the data center?
Yeah.
That was like an hour and a half ago. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's actually how the movie ends.
It's not touched on at all. It's not. You expect it to be a main plot point, or like he's running against the mayor because the mayor wants to do this and he doesn't, or whatever. It
was kind of a weird Taxi Driver ending too, where it's like, you know, he did all these bad things, but then the media praises him, sort of. But like, I liked how Taxi Driver ended a billion times more, but that's also because at the end of Taxi Driver, you know, there's not like slapstick, you know. Weird, you know, I don't know, man. Like
tonally whiplash.
The tone was all over the place. Joaquin Phoenix has some weird dialogue too. Like there's some times when like there's just he's like kind of like you know, like I don't know. He's like talking to Emma Stone. He's like he's like literally in bed with his wife, being like, "Did you get kidnapped by a sex cult?" I'm like. Now, granted, I don't know how you bring that up, frankly, but...
Oh, man. The mumbling is really a problem. It's annoying. And, like, it's the same thing in Beau's Afraid, where, like, it's just kind of irritating the whole time. You kind of want him to just spit out just spit it out, bro. And I guess that's a character, but anyway. I don't know. I think we should stop talking about this because we need to wrap up soon. Any more final thoughts on Eddington? Do you recommend the film? Would you go see it if you were someone?
I think if you're an Ari Aster fan, go give it a watch. I think if you're someone who likes films that are unconventional, and if you just miss COVID, give it a watch.
Yeah, dude. It's a beautiful memberberry of that wonderful time that everyone had. Everyone had such good fun. Remember Animal Crossing? We all played that. I don't know what else.
That was a weird scene when he breaks out the Switch.
Yeah, the Switch. There was a Switch in the movie.
That's true.
Yes. I clocked that. I was like, that man's playing Animal Crossing. I know it. I know I don't know this for a fact, but I would have to imagine he almost had it like resting with the Animal Crossing thing because it was such a. But they like couldn't get the licensing or it wasn't worth it or whatever. Anyway, so I don't know. I'm right down the middle on it personally. I will revisit it at some points in the future, and I recommend that you see it because it's fucking crazy. And I want to talk about it with more people. This is one of those movies that has like a million interpretations. I think I would not be surprised if most people walk out of this frustrated and annoyed.
We can maybe cut this, but I wanted to do some 1-star, 5 stars.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Good call.
So to honor Red Letter Media, they will read 1 and 5-star audience reviews, because one thing I'm fascinated with this movie is I want to know why people love it and why they hate it.
Yeah.
So it's sitting at a 66% critic, 64% audience.
That tracks.
Which is honestly a little different than I thought it was going to be. 1 star. 50 different themes started and dropped. Movie failed to deliver a story, and its major fabulous actors had nowhere to shine.
I mean, I agree with those points.
Just not a good movie. I wanted to like it, but at end of day, I just wanted my money back, which a guy in the bathroom after the movie said verbatim. 5-star. Eddington is a dark, personal, and hyper-realistic social satire. It is history. Brilliant. The response seems to be polarizing, but to me, this is Ari Aster's best film. It captures the anxieties, absurdities, and societal differences of the COVID-19 period in our world of social media perfectly. It's very funny and feels much shorter than its 2.5-hour runtime.
I disagree.
Joaquin Phoenix steals the show. A must-see.
Okay, so I'm more aligned currently with these 1-star reviews than that 5-star review. I think there's pockets of that 5-star review which I agree with.
I wish I'd gone ahead and pulled some good ones, but
that's all right.
Okay, here's one. I've been in the theater business for the better part of 6 years and have never written a Rotten Tomatoes review. Working for AMC, I've seen all kinds of movies, the good, the bad, and the meh. Eddington is a movie that not only demands respect for its amazing acting and portrayal of its characters, uncanny and eerily relevant attitudes and opinions, but it's also a film that demands your attention. Give it a try before you go watch Superman instead.
All right, bro.
Don't know
a little high and mighty.
Don't know about that.
That's hilarious.
The kids are not going to like Eddington.
No. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's... I always think of, would I rather have this or something with, more Jurassic World Rebirth? I would much rather have this with he's trying to say a lot of interesting things. There's things happening. He's giving it a good college try. Maybe it's overstuffed, but I'll take this any day of the week over just the normal slop that we normally get.
I'll put it this way too. I struggle with, people love this movie, Nightcrawler, but same thing for me. It just kind of got so far out there. I still like the movie, but I was like, okay, now what's really happening?
Sure.
So I think this movie is like that. And I agree. I'll take this any day over.
It's at least interesting to talk about. Isn't that the point of going to the movie theater in general, is just discussing it with your friends and family afterwards, connecting with people about the thing that you saw, talking about it on a podcast. That's kind of the heart of media, and broadly speaking. So yeah, dude, you want something you can sink your teeth into and think about and talk about. You don't want something that you will forget the moment you walk out of the theater.
It's certainly not forgettable.
Yeah,
it is. That's true. I will remember this movie and a lot of it for forever.
For sure. Yeah. So yeah, shouts out to Ari Aster. We love you. I think you are still my favorite of the 3 modern horror auteurs. Everyone likes to rank those 3 guys. I still put Hereditary. It's actually, we're gonna have a nice even 12 once Jordan Peele drops his next project. So everyone's 2 of them have done 4, and Jordan Peele's only done 3 at this point. But I put this towards the bottom of that pack of all 12 or 11 movies currently, personally. But I do think it's interesting in that none of the movies on that list are bad.
Well said.
With that, I think we're going to call it a day. There's the Coldplay cheating thing, but I think we're out of time, dude. We've been talking for a long time. So anything you would like to plug, my good friend? Where can people find you?
You can't find me. Find me on Slop Chop, merchandise website. I think I'm going to get some... You're dropping merch soon, right?
Oh yeah, dude, for sure.
Okay, well,
I've always been told that you're supposed to make a merch line before you have a fan base. That's always a good order to do it.
Just don't give a Slop Top cheeser to Doja Cat. That's how I'm gonna post. That's how I'm gonna promote the brand.
Fuck yeah,
rip off
dude.
my tee, hand it to Doja.
I threw that musty ass shirt away. That's so fucking funny. Still one of my favorite things I've talked about on this podcast. Absolutely hilarious. All right, with that, Sloppers, God bless the Slop Nation. We appreciate you. Thank you, Landon, for coming on. It has been an absolute pleasure. You killed it. Genuinely, you did very well.
Thank you.
Remember to follow on your whatever listening app of choice, and that's all I got. Thanks. Goodbye.